It's Andy again. It's good to talk to you. I am standing here at the N8. I think you can see it up there. Where is it? N8. Shout out to my N8 people. There it is. You can see it in the corner. Just getting ready to have a conversation about how we can do some best practices for front door ministries. I'm really excited about this conversation. But before I do that, I wanted just to remind you, last time we talked a little bit about why we do front door ministries. And basically it boiled down to this idea that Jesus himself was invitational. And because he was invitational to all of us as well as his disciples, we have now the desire to be invitational as well. And one of the best ways that we can be invitational is to be a welcoming front door experience for everyone who comes to our church. And that's why we have this team. And for our team, two things are important. One, it's important to remember that we're all a part of the same team. We're all functioning together, all roles together for being invitational for our new guests. But two, it's also really important to remember that every guest who comes into our path is the most important thing, even more important than the role that we're doing. And we need to be ready and able to stop and help those guests get to their next point in their journey. So those were the two takeaways from last time we got together. But this time, we're going to start talking about how to do front door ministries. And so a little bit of best practices here. And I'm really excited about this first one because I think it is so important. This is going to be about body language. Now, would you believe me if I told you that 70% of communication happens through our bodies, through our facial expressions, and through how our bodies look in disposition in an interaction with somebody in the moment. And this is especially true of first impressions. First impressions are primarily made up of how our faces look and how our bodies are projecting towards people. And so I wanted to talk and give you three different practical takeaways that you're going to be able to use in order to help you do front door ministries better. And it doesn't matter which role you're in, these are going to be helpful for everybody. So the first one, it was really funny. So last time I did a video, I got some feedback that I was actually looking at the screen and not looking at this little black thing that is the camera, this little black circle up here. And so I wasn't actually looking you in the eye, and that was totally not, like, I'm pretty new to this, and I'm like, oh, that's good feedback, thanks. I'm going to look in the little camera next time. So I'm continuing to try to do that, right? So if we look someone in the eye, we're doing a couple things. We're able to acknowledge them. That's the biggest thing. We are able to see them. You look someone in the eye, they feel acknowledged. They start to potentially feel known. They feel noticed. This gives someone the dignity of being a human being, to look them in the eye. If we don't look them in the eye, if we're looking down or if we're looking past them, they may feel dismissed. And we don't want to do that. So a simple thing that we can do with our body language is to look people in the eye as we're interacting with them. The second one, now this may seem silly, but it's really important, is that we have to smile. That might seem intuitive, but I think it's important to remember. So I'll stand here for a second. Kind of, this is my normal disposition. I don't look all that friendly, do I? No. And like when a face is in its natural rest, I don't want to see you look grumpy, but you don't necessarily look approachable. You kind of look like you're in your mind doing your own thing. And it's really important that we look approachable. One of the universal symbols for being welcoming is a smile. I know that babies, facial recognition, a smile is something that they can remember for months. And so if you see a baby when they're 3 months old and you smile at them and you see them again in 6 months, they might remember your face just due to the fact that you smiled. It's fascinating. And so if we want to be really approachable and welcoming and friendly, we're going to look people in the eye. We're going to make sure that they are visible and that they're noticed. And we're going to seem approachable with a smile. And we have to remember to do this. We have to actively remember to keep our faces smiling, especially when we're here on Sundays. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a little bit about our actual body. And so I'm going to pan this out so you can kind of see me here. If I'm standing here kind of like this, with my natural disposition, arms crossed, I look a little bit like a bouncer, don't I? Yeah, that's absolutely the case. And we don't want to come off seeming cold or unapproachable or defensive. And arms crossed are kind of like, like having your arms kind of be like tight to your torso here is a way that you kind of show insecurity or defensiveness. And we want to make sure that we are not being defensive, and so we want an open posture. So we want to be kind of shoulders up, with our hands kind of to the side. Palms up is actually a big, so like can you kind of keep your hands to the side with your palms up, with a smile, looking people right in the eye. These three things would be huge if we all did those. And, you know, like a wave, and like the more you get outside of your box here, the more you're going to feel approachable. So like saying hi to people like this, and having an opening demeanor with your hands open. It's a great way to be friendly and approachable, and to use your body in a way to say, come on in. You're invited to join us. Those three things, if we can practice those, I think they would be a huge help to our team. Thank you so much for the time today. We'll keep working on these videos. Hopefully they're beneficial. And next time we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about language. So join me then, would you? Have a great day. Bye.